여기 아니.
됐어요. 됐어. 이렇게 하면
여기 말씀하시는 분들만 봤을 때 연결은 안 먹었죠?
잠깐.
마이크로 확장하시면 끝나고 인터뷰 따로 받아야 돼요.
지금 스피커 꺼져 있나요? 켜져 있어요? 근데 소리 안 나오죠? 블루투스 소리 안 나와요. 네. 마이크도 지금.
감사합니다. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. And thank you for coming out this afternoon in this rainy day. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Philip Kang, and I'm a missionary. And I'm here representing for Esther prayer movement. And we are here today, as you see here, in front of the UN building here in New York City. And we have a very serious matter that we need to discuss this afternoon, and we'd like to present this today. Right now, we're just really trying to address something very, very important, and we want to really call out China and the government to relinquish 2,600 North Korean refugees that held detention as prisoners there in China. We're requesting the Chinese government to release the North Koreans that are there right now. That has been, they're basically defectors from North Korea that's in China's prison. And we're asking them to release them to South Korea or any other countries that can allow them to have some freedom. And there's many other North Koreans there in China as well that needs to be liberated. We're asking Xi Jinping as well to have mercy amongst the North Korean people, to relinquish them to South Korea as soon as possible, and do not forcibly repatriate them back to North Korea, because we know that if they get repatriated into North Korea, they will be sent to prison, and they will be tortured. They will be enslaved into camps, and possibly they could be killed in prison in North Korea. So we're asking and we're requesting by all means that they could be that you guys do not forcibly repatriate them back to North Korea, but to send them anywhere outside other than North Korea. At this time, we're also asking that anyone in this nation, in the U.S., anywhere else outside the U.S., could join and support of the inhumane and evil things that are going on with China that's really going against the human rights violation. And we're asking for everyone in this nation, in U.S. as well as outside the nation, to help support and free the North Korean people from China that's being held. 2,600 North Korean refugees are being held in China and in prisons and detained there, and we're asking them to release them as soon as possible. Not back to Korea, but not back to North Korea, but to South Korea or any other countries that has democracy. So we're asking for that right now. That's why we're here. We're gonna start this program with the saluting the national flag and doing the pledge of allegiance to the flag. So please join with me as we pledge the allegiance. Respond after me. I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic of which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and we'll have the U.S. national anthem coming up. Music. No music today. Oh, it's coming.
틀었어요. 이걸 아까 해놨죠. 저기서 소리 꺼놨어.
Okay, let's have a silent tribute. We're paying tribute to the patriotic martyrs in the Korean War UN forces from the 22 member states. Let's take a moment of silence.
So we next coming up is we got about 4 speakers coming out. They will be introducing themselves at this time, and I'll pass it on to them.
Hello, I'm from South Korea. My name is Soyeon Kim. On the 30th of last month, the North Korean Human Rights Information Center (NKDB) argued the China Commission (CECC) to hold a hearing titled "North Korean Refugees and the Imminent Danger of Forced Repatriation to China." Throughout the hearing, it was revealed that the detention centers in China for the North Korean refugees have been expanding. Despite the UN's recommendation that the Chinese government stop the forced repatriation of North Korean refugees to North Korea, media reports continue to emerge that the forced repatriation of 1,600 North Korean refugees detained in Chinese detention centers is imminent. China is a member of the UN Security Council and a signatory to the UN Refugee Convention and Protocol in 1982 and the Convention Against Torture in 1988. According to Article 1 of the UN Refugee Convention, refugee is defined as follows. A refugee is a person outside the country of his or her nationality who, because of a well-founded fear of being persecuted and is unable to avail himself of the protection of that country. Currently, North Korea is experiencing a severe food crisis. In addition, North Korea ranks first in the Global Enslavement Index, in the Christian Persecution Index, and the lowest in the world in the Democratization Index, in the Economic Liberalization Index, and the freedom and human rights of North Korean people are seriously violated. And in light of the definition of refugee presented in Article 1 of the Refugee Convention, North Korean refugees are recognized as UN refugees. In the early 1960s, the Chinese government signed the agreements on the repatriation of smugglers with North Korea. China is a member state of the United Nations Security Council, must adhere to the principle of prohibition of forced repatriation under Article 33, Paragraph 1 of the Refugee Convention, which states that refugees are prohibited from expulsion or repatriation to the borders of territories where their lives or freedoms may be threatened in any way. There is an obligation to abide by it, and refugees who defected from North Korea must never be forcibly repatriated. Moreover, North Korea regards North Korean refugees who have been forcibly repatriated to North Korea as defectors and punishes them severely, comparable to political prisoners. According to the 2023 report on human rights in North Korea by the Ministry of Korea Unification, North Korea faces severe human rights violations, such as torture, detention, forced labor, and execution when caught by the Chinese government or forcibly returned to North Korea. About 80% of women are victims of human trafficking and are exploited in the sex trafficking. The Chinese government's forced repatriation of North Korean refugees who have left for freedom and life to North Korea engages in the North Korean dictatorial regime's horrific murderous acts and human rights violation. Do the Chinese governments and officials who send North Korean refugees in this way really know the value of one life? It is no exaggeration to say that North Korean refugees who are forcibly repatriated have a 99% of chance of being killed. North Korean refugees are the people who can survive without sending them back to North Korea. But if the Chinese government also forcibly repatriates North Korean refugees, it is responsible for their lives and is no different from a murderer who killed them. The Chinese has stopped forcibly returning them to North Korea.
목사입니다.
Hello, I'm Pastor Star Lee.
저는 미국에서 워싱턴 DC, 뉴욕, 아틀란타, 시카고, 텍사스주에서 북한을 위한 기도단체들을 운영하고 있습니다.
And I'm directing prayer meetings for North Korea to intervene and intercede on behalf of North Korea in Washington, D.C., New York, Atlanta, Chicago, and Texas.
저는 한국에서 살았지만 미국 시민이 돼서 미국의 특권과 자유를 누릴 수 있음에 감사를 드립니다.
I'm very grateful. Although I was born and grew up in Korea, I'm grateful that I became a citizen of the United States and enjoyed the privileges and freedoms here.
저는 2016년에서 2021년까지 한국에서